All right, there's the click. All right, good evening, everybody. I know you guys are relaxing and chillaxing after watching America's team dominate the Washington Commanders in the NFC East. The Cowboys are now in second place on the ass of those Eagles. I got the green screen here. This is Eagle colors. They're on the ass of the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's just a matter of time. We are due to play them again. We will see them again this year, and I think that's going to be the game that's going to decide, what's what. But as usual, the Cowboys are who they are, and the Cowboys play to the level of their opponent. Let me just say that, okay? They play to the level of their opponent. I wasn't able to watch the whole game. I had to go on the Dimitri K show, which is very important for me to do that. I'm not really feeling well. I know everybody's telling me you look terrible. I know. The medicine is kicking my butt. It's some pretty strong stuff. But here I am. So right now the Atlanta Falcons are playing who are they playing? The Detroit Lions? Anyway. Just wanted to get on here and remind you guys, tomorrow we will be interviewing Miss Jackson of Chicago Red tomorrow at, if you tune into the show here, to be 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we will be doing the show, and I'll be sharing it with everybody. Again, I will say this. I've been told time and time again, my delivery is the problem with what I'm saying. And as I said on Dimitri K's show today, and guys, please forgive me, I'm struggling. But like I said on Dimitri K's show today, you see my eye? Yeah, it's pretty bad. Anyway, I tried to be as nice as I could before all of this stuff happened, right? The rise of Donald Trump twice after the new black media was telling you what was going on, and for you guys to see what is happening. At the end of the day, if you like Donald Trump or if you don't like Donald Trump's ascension is your fault, and I do realize it's my fault as well. Oh, San Francisco, Atlanta and San Francisco, still 0-0. It's my fault as well because we weren't paying attention. We come from that generation where, our parents are going to take care of it. Everything's in good hands. Everything is great. Now the truth has revealed itself, and we now realize that the store wasn't being minded, and we were being robbed left and right, and we're continuing to be robbed. And people think I'm a Republican. I'm not. I'm damn sure never going to be a Republican. I am a former Democrat. I can't say that. Most black people, are born and bred to be Democrats. I will say that without a question. But I left the Democratic Party after nothing. Barack Obama did absolutely nothing for the black community. Went back on all of his promises that he had made. Day one, he's going to codify Roe versus Wade. That didn't happen. So in my opinion, I have a lot of grievances with the Democratic Party and what they're not doing for all the votes that black people give them and all the support that black people give them. So I've been watching a lot of people's feeds and stuff, and though people are still going to be who they are, and they're going to support what they support, that's their choice. I keep telling you guys, my situation is not to change your mind. My situation is to educate you. And everybody says, "Oh, Donovan, it's your delivery. It's the way you talk to people. It's the way you say that." Well, the problem is with my delivery is when there was time to tell you guys what was going on, you weren't listening. I'm talking calmly. I'm being nice. Well, you guys, today in the news, this is what's happening. Blah, blah. Oh, you guys are partying, smoking, doing your weed, doing everything. Nobody's paying attention to the guy that's just, fine line flat. But in my community, like I told a friend of mine, he's from a different culture, but, he's been around, black folks. And what I told them is our culture, we don't respect that. We don't respect somebody talking in a tone, because then it's like, oh, well, who do they think they are? They think they're better than us, whatever. You have to basically, to get our attention, is shout and scream and curse. Benny! Every time I get on this thing. Come here, Benny. Leave that cat alone. Sit down. Leave the cat alone. That's probably Claude. I haven't seen him in 3 or 4 days, and he's probably in here, and Benny's trying to corner him a little bit. Sorry about that. But in our community, you have to yell and scream and curse to get people to pay attention to what you're doing. And usually when a person talks in a calm mode, there's time. And what I've seen is black people, we've run out of time. They have marginalized us to a point to where it's game over. And I've been telling people in an analogy like Noah in the Bible. Noah was building this ark. He was building the ark, and he was telling everybody, you got to get ready. The flood is coming. The flood is coming. So let's fast forward that. John the Baptist, you got to get ready, for Jesus Christ is coming. Jesus Christ is coming, right? In the will. Everybody thought he was crazy. It's a crazy man in the will to talk about Jesus. Hey, stay there. The Son of God is coming. Get prepared. Be safe. Now Noah was saying the same exact thing. Old Testament, New Testament. Get ready for the flood. Get ready. This is what the new black media has been doing, particularly in the black community. Because not everybody sees what I see, and I don't see what everybody else sees. But I see the marginalization of black people. A good example. I'm here in California. A lot of people that used to live here in California have come back to visit, and the first thing they say is, where are the black people? Exactly. Where are the black people? We've been so marginalized in California, we don't even have a political voice. So if this is the Democratic state, and the black people are the backbone of the Democratic Party, the black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party, how come black people are so marginalized here? But I'm paranoid. Everybody's saying I'm paranoid. But you know what I'm saying, looking on you guys' pages? I'm seeing more and more of you guys waking up. The government has shut down. People are losing their jobs. Things are happening. Now you guys are waking up. When it is so dire, the situation has gotten so dire, now you want to react. How long have I been doing this, you guys? Me and my compadre, how long have we been doing it? Just us. And I got to reference myself, because a lot of you guys that are on Facebook with me are my friends and family and stuff. Now you guys are paying attention. But guess what? It's too late. I've been saying this is a political game. It's political theater. Good cop, bad cop. Any of you guys that have had any kind of interaction with law enforcement knows a good cop is no different than a bad cop. They both want to put you in jail. Not saying that they're bad people, because I've got family members that are in law enforcement. That ain't what I'm saying. But we know, like, you got the good cop that says, hey, work with me, we'll tell the judge this, he wants to get that confession, he wants to get that conviction, he wants to get you in the system, right? He just does it in a nicer way. But notice, we react to the bad cop that wants to kick your ass, right? In the movies, you remember that, what was that movie with Martin Lawrence? He was the diamond thief, remember? And he was beating up Dave Chappelle with the phone book, trying to get to him and stuff. We all know that stuff happens in real life. But notice, we are more in tuned to the person that is more active versus the, hi guys, hey, how's everything going? Don't everything all right? No, when the guy's like, look, I'm gonna kick your motherfucking ass. We pay attention to that guy because that person is more of a threat. Correct? Correct. So I've been watching a lot of you guys' pages, and a lot of you guys are starting to wake up. You're starting to see what is going on with our representatives. Nobody cares about the presidency. The presidency does not affect you more so than your local politics, right? Your local politics, that includes the senators, that includes the congressmen. One person, one vote. Even though both parties are trying to change that. They don't want you to have the power to vote. Both parties are working together. They work together. That is why when a third party rises, both of these parties attack that third party. A lot of you guys are starting to see this stuff. Again, some people get it late, some people get it early, but you're going to get it. And I'm seeing a lot of you guys starting to get it. But is it too late? Time will tell. But the rise of a Donald Trump and MAGA, that's our fault. That is our fault for not paying attention. That is our fault for not showing up at town halls when your representative comes back to tell you nothing. Not showing up at the city planning commission, not showing up at the city council meeting. I'm not saying you have to be there, but you got to pay attention. Everything is digital. You could get everything off the internet. Open meetings laws all over the country. You could email your mayor and the city attorney and the city clerk, and it's all public record. Some of you guys that that are new friends of mine thought I was just talking crap when I said I go to the city council meetings. I put my money where my mouth is. But I've been watching you guys. A lot of you guys are waking up. Yes, you're still a Democrat. You still have hope in the Democratic Party. Hey, I have hope things will get better no matter who it is. But until we take back the power that we have as the stewards and owners of this country, it's just going to continue to get worse. And for black people, I see the marginalization all around the country. When the illegals came here, did the illegals go into the white neighborhoods? No, they put them in the black neighborhoods. Marginalization, gentrification. We've called them that out for years. I'm not saying everybody agrees with me, but fundamentally what you guys are now doing is exactly what I've been talking about. Now your eyes are open and you're saying logic. You're using your logic and you're saying, wait a minute. Here in California, there's been advertisements about Proposition 50. Why is Gavin Newsom and the Democrats lying about Proposition 50? Do you guys that don't live in California know? Redistricting in California is controlled by a civilian committee. Everybody that is politically aware in California knows that. We took the power a long time ago away from the politicians so they can't jury rig their own elections. Proposition 50 says the opposite of what it actually is. Why do the Democrats keep lying? Hey, Anita, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. I know you're a teacher and you've been busy grading those quizzes and all that other good stuff out there in Phoenix. How are the girls? I hope the girls are doing well. But I will be taking care of some stuff a little bit later on. But Proposition 50 does the opposite of what the Democrats saying that it's going to do. So if people vote yes on Proposition 50, it puts the power back into the politician. And I think I read I had the bill here, and I read it to everybody on the voting thing, what exactly it says. It gives the local politicians the power to design their own districts, and then it gives it back to the civilian commission, I think in like 2030 or something like that, 2030 or something like that. Why do the Democrats continue to lie like this? Why? This is what pisses people off. Tell us what it is. It's crazy. But again, for you guys that do not live here in California, that don't know Kamala Harris's history, you don't know what the hell's going on in California because you're living your lives in your gated communities and your, big nice properties, whatever you're doing. But you guys are the first ones to want to talk about what you don't know about Kamala Harris, and you don't care to know it. I have relatives that I told them, look this up, and look this up. Factual stuff. They refuse to hear the truth or read the truth. I'm hanging in there. I know I look kind of messed up. It's the medicine, Anita, so I'm a little loopy. I know when I get done with this, I'm going to go lay down. But I'm hanging in there. Demetra and I did a show today, and tomorrow we're going to be talking to Chicago Red at 11 o'clock my time, California time, if you want to tune in. And that's what the activists in Miss Jackson from Chicago. We're going to get an update on what's going on up there and, how they're handling everything. And by the way, you guys, I have my Dodger jersey on. Yes, I do. The Dodgers are back in the World Series. We about championships out here. Not no damn bubble championship. This Negro been a Laker for 8 years and won a damn bubble championship. In 8 years. We ain't having it out here. We want this man off the Lakers. I mean, I didn't think it was a good idea for him to come here to begin with, because all you LeBron sexuals, no. When you got to call yourself the GOAT, you're not the GOAT. I'm not even a Michael Jordan fan, and I acknowledge he is the best player to have ever played. Now, he plays a different position than who I think is the greatest player, which is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If you go by the stats, nobody has the stats that this man has. And 20-year career, had a shot that was unstoppable. Okay? That's just my opinion. He's one of the all-time greats. But I'll give it to Michael Jordan. If you want to call him the GOAT, I'll give it to you. My number 2, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. With hands down. Kobe Bryant in the top 5. I don't even have LeBron James in my top 10. I really don't. For the simple fact that he lost more championships than he actually won. And here's another thing that I use my logic for, you guys. I want you to think about this. If Michael Jordan in 16 years could do what he did in 16 years, hypothetically, it takes LeBron 23 years to do the exact same thing? Huh? How is that comparable? I mean, I could be the all-time leading scorer in the NBA if I played for 60 years. Maybe. So if I played for 60 years, does that make me a GOAT? The logic of the LeBron sexuals, I'll never understand that. Anita says that you should go and rest. I'll tune in while I'm in between teaching sessions. Yeah, please tune in. I think it's going to be a very monumental thing. And again, what is going on in this country? This is why the Democrats and the Republicans want to shut down the internet, because we as black people are now communicating to each other, and we're realizing we have the same problems. And you know the whole spill that I talk about that. So both parties work on this. So anyway, so back to what I was saying. We're going to do that tomorrow. You guys tune in for that. But a lot of you guys are starting to wake up. And here's the thing. Waking up is just one part of what we need to do moving forward. Now what we have to do is also teach our children and teach our grandchildren. Do you guys think I'm up here because I'm worried about you guys? Do you guys think I'm sounding this alarm because I give a damn about you guys? Most of you guys are retirement age. You got houses, you've got cars, you've lived the life. I'm not concerned about you. I'm not. I'm concerned about those grandbabies. Do you guys realize right now, as things stand the way they are, These grandkids will never be able to afford a home unless they're multimillionaires. The median home in California is $800,000. How does an average person afford a home in California? An average person. I'm not fighting for you guys. I'm not here to try to piss you guys off. I'm trying to wake you up so you can see down the road. The immediate threat to the United States is not the illegal immigrants that are here now. It's their children and their grandchildren that is going to outvoice our children. Look at California. California is the blueprint. Less than 6% of Californians are black. We have no political voice here. If you have no political voice, you have no say in what is going on in this damn state, in the community. My city council has 5 members. One of them is black. She's very ineffective, in my opinion. She's one of those get along to get along type people. Maybe she's representing her district, whatever, however you want to do it. But as a black person, she's not interested in specific black issues. She's interested in the marginalized, the poor migrants and this, that, and that. What about the black people? What about the black people? The homeless black women and children that are being evicted. But she's worried about the migrants, the people that should not be here. This is the alarm I've been trying to raise you guys. And, even though you guys don't want to give me my props, some of you guys and some of the things that you're posting sounds just like me a few years ago and even still today. And if you've seen some of those posts, you see me agreeing with a lot of what you're saying. So I don't know if you should panic when I agree with you. But you guys are waking up. Yeah, Samuel X. Clark says, singing Look at California. This is the blueprint. Gentrification, all of that started here. And look how it has spread. Atlanta, all the big cities, Chicago, New York. Boys in the Hood, California movie. Furious, the father, he told you how gentrification worked in that movie. That movie came out in what, 1990? 1989, 1990? And I'm not here to get props or whatever, but the point is, what are our representatives doing? While you guys are out of work, they start getting paid. I think of all those black women in that spring jobs report that lost their jobs. How many of them actually own their home? They had a mortgage. How many of them are going to lose those homes? Now the government is shut down. How many more black people are going to be evicted and foreclosed on? I was talking about this 2 years ago. Specifically, black women. Go look at the archives. On the Demetra K show, I was talking specifically about black women and children and what was coming. And it happened. Here we are. The 300,000 that they got rid of, Trump is firing more and more and more. I know a lot of you guys are saying, oh, well, Donovan, you voted for Trump, so you're part of the problem. No, I'm not part of the problem. Why would I vote for nothing? Why would I continue to vote for black people to get nothing? Why? I didn't vote for Trump the first time. This is a wake-up call. Now everybody sees. And it's unfortunate, but it took a second rising of Donald Trump for a lot of you guys to start paying attention. After the first time this clown was in office, now he came back in the second time and he got more black votes. What does that tell you? Well, number one, it tells you there's something that the Democratic Party is not doing in regards to black people. Am I right? That's what it tells me. If more black people voted for Trump the second time than they did the first time, what are the Democrats not doing to make black people vote that way? See, we don't want to ask those questions. We're just supposed to shut up and vote Democrat no matter what. Vote blue no matter who. Yeah, it's just ridiculous to continue to vote for nothing. Well, you ain't getting nothing under Trump. Trump is getting these illegals out, so I'm getting something out of it. Donald Trump was the only candidate that said he was going to get these illegals out of here, which is a threat to my children and my grandchildren. The numbers don't lie. 24 million illegal people have come into the country, and they're not all Latin, but it's estimated, it is said, 24 million have come into the country. What do you think those 24 million people are going to be doing while they're waiting for due process? They're going to be making anchor babies. And that is a direct threat to black people. And I deemed it more important to get a candidate that would work in regards to what I need and what my people need. And right now, we need voice. We need a political voice. We need numbers. You cannot do, and excuse my language, you cannot fuck enough people in our community to come up with 24 million in 4 years. It just can't be done. I mean, I like to try. Don't get me wrong. I'm willing to give it the college try if there are, willing females, but it can't be done. It literally cannot be done. And that is a direct threat to black people. And now people are seeing it. At the end of this shutdown, whenever that's going to be, I'm going to be researching the numbers of black foreclosures across the United States. They see that we are marginalized and we are we're basically hemmed up in a corner. They've got us cornered. Wealth is just being taken from us. And yet people expect us to go out there and fight for other people who shouldn't be here? Worrying about a dictator? I've said it and I will continue to say it. When you are at the bottom of the economic system, right? Black people in the United States, let's just be real. I don't know, you Divine Nine people and you Boule. I don't know what you guys are thinking about. But the fact of the matter is, in the United States, in this reality, black people are at the bottom of the economic system. That is how the system works here. That is why all these other groups come into this country and they elevate themselves above us. Well, I'm not black. Even, how many of you guys remember those Dominicans? Oh, even though they have Afro roots, just like a lot of us. Me not black, me Dominican, me not black. And I love being in the island of Dominican Republic. But let's just call it for what it is. They do not identify themselves as black. They identify as Dominican. But now that ICE is getting them up out of here, all of a sudden they're black. We've tried to unify with these people. We tried to tell them what these people do. Democrat and Republican, it doesn't matter. White supremacy is white supremacy. Oh, well, this is better than that. Donald Trump is no different than Hillary Clinton. No different. How many of you guys know Hillary Clinton was originally a Republican? How many of you guys know that? Go look it up. She was a Goldwater girl. That is how she started her political career. She was a Goldwater girl. Go look up Goldwater, Senator Goldwater. Racist motherfucker go look him up. Was a general in the military. She was a Goldwater girl. Go look up her history. You got Kamala Harris running around here talking about she's the most qualified person that ever ran. That's a lie. Hillary Clinton was the most qualified person to ever run for public office. Here's why. She was married to a president. She was, well, a Goldwater girl. You look at her political thing as she rose, but then she was married to a president. She was a senator. She was Secretary of State. Samuel X says, a Donald Trump presidency has black people up and talking and moving. When a baby is moving, that's a sign that the baby is learning. A baby that's not moving in the womb is a bad sign. We are waking up and soon we'll be ready to come to birth. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Brother Samuel. Samuel, exactly. Exactly. It's a hard pill to swallow. Be it out of fear, be it out of whatever, you're now paying attention. And like I said, I'm going to say it again. I've been watching your posts. And you guys are starting to sound like I am. I'm just ringing the alarm a lot more urgent than you are. That's all. You're saying the same exact thing. But this is where we're at right now. We have been put into a trick bag. When this government shutdown is over, let's look at the numbers of black wealth that was stolen by these bankers and these Democrats and these Republicans. Let's look at white supremacy in action when we see the foreclosures in the black community across the nation. And that's going to tell you all you need to know. But I was talking specifically about black women and children. Well, why was I talking about black women and children? Because only in the black community is the number of single household led by black women at 70%. We're the only community that has a high number like that. So, since the single black female does not have a mate or a partner to shoulder the burden of the finances if she lost her job, guess what? When the single black female loses her job, the whole structure falls. This is why there's a rise of homeless black women and children right here in California. I don't know what the numbers are across the nation. And I was warning about this 2 years ago. And it happened. But, oh, Donovan's the problem. Oh, look, he's so offensive. He's this, that. I was ringing the alarm. And I was proven right again. And it's sad. And it's sad. 300,000 black women in the spring jobs report lost their jobs. When a single mother loses her job, the whole family is affected. Her children are affected. Living in hotels, motels, Holiday Inns, whatever you want to call it. The strong, independent black woman. But I'm the problem. I'm a misogynist. I was raised by a widowed black mother. A widowed black mother that raised me to be a man. By having other positive men around me, surrogates around me, because we know a woman can't raise a man. The point is, my mom surrounded me with positive men. But this is not about me. April Lane, good to see you. Good to see you. Long time no see. Samuel says Hillary Clinton admired Margaret Sanger. Yes, a person who formed eugenics and who wanted to eliminate black population and saw us as human weeds. What? Well, we know why Samuel X knows what he knows. And again, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam, I'm a big follower of the Nation of Islam. As a matter of fact, my awakening happened when I was in the Middle East and I was reading the autobiography of Malcolm X, the Message to the Black Man, and all that other stuff. And that's where I get my awakening, my discipline. I like the discipline of Islam. Think about this. Think about this. I'm just talking about the fanaticals. These people are so strong in their belief, they are willing to delete themselves in the name of what they believe. How many Christians are willing to do that? In the name of Jesus, how many Christians are willing to give up everything? What was the parable? April Lang with your fine self. I'm a little down today. I know you probably see it on my face. I'm really, I'm kind of grayish. My skin is kind of grayish. I'm kind of sick. But thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I want to take my shirt off. You see the jersey now. World Series again. The Dodgers. My favorite number, 21. And this is my personalized jersey. See that, Saadiq? Yeah, personalized. But anyway, you got me distracted. That made me feel great. Thank you. Thank you. You are way too kind. You're way too kind. I'm still hitting the gym though. I'm still hitting the gym. But look at the Christians that, you know, what was the parable? Samuel would know it. One thing about Muslims, man, they just don't know Islam. They know other religion as well, because fundamentally the books are similar, but the discipline of Islam makes them knowledge. It's about knowledge, having the knowledge, because in the knowledge is the power. See, a lot of people don't believe that. The knowledge is the power. If you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the power. This is why I could come up on this platform and Samuel could come up on the platform and speak knowledge and facts and spread the message. But what was the parable of Jesus and the rich man? Remember, the rich man was like, "Oh my God, Jesus, I love your teachings. You know, I want to be a Christian. I want to follow you. I want to I just want to just be like you." And what did Jesus tell him? Well, it's very simple. I'm paraphrasing. Give up all of your worldly goods and just come follow me. That's how simple it was. And the rich man's face dropped and he walked away from Jesus, because he wasn't willing to give up his worldly wealth to follow Jesus and have an eternal life. And the good thing about that parable is, what I got out of it was, it showed me that God gives us a choice. He doesn't force us to follow. But be warned that when Judgment Day comes and you didn't follow, Jesus doesn't know you. If you're, into the Jesus thing, right? Then you got some people out here that are just smoking their weed and their beer, and they're sitting out there waiting on Jesus. Sam, you remember what album was that with Ice Cube? Was it Lethal Injection? I think it was Lethal Injection. No. Death Certificate. It was Death Certificate. Remember in one of the commercials, Ice Cube, when he was following the Islam as well, and in one of the commercials, the guy was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" "I'm just sitting here waiting for Jesus." "Oh, you're waiting for Jesus, huh?" "Yeah, just waiting for Jesus, my Lord." "So, do you need this car?" "Nope. Jesus is my provider. He'll provide for everything." And the guy took the car and everything like that. It's just, knowledge is the power. Not when you have the knowledge, you have the power. All the fear mongering that the Democrats do. "Oh, this is going to happen. They're going to take this away from me. They're going to take that away from me." You're at the bottom. When you're at the bottom of the economic system, it doesn't matter if a dictator comes in. Your situation hasn't changed. You haven't lost anything. You're at the bottom. What have you lost? You're at the bottom. You have nothing. So if you have nothing to lose, what does it matter? Donald Trump, okay? Barack Obama, you had a man that looked just like you, didn't do nothing for you. Did your position in life change? It didn't. And I know I'm smirking because it's logical. When you're at the bottom of the system, you have least likely to lose anything. You are the least likely to lose anything. You're not a business owner. You don't have any money. You're probably in and off the streets. If anything, you are the prime candidate to be blessed by Allah if you happen to pass on earth and maybe go to heaven if you lived a decent life. There's nothing keeping you here. Every time I see a homeless person, I see a homeless person all the time. Every time I see a homeless person, I look at them and I say, you know what? There's nothing tethering them here. Nothing. I say to myself, man, I got a house, I got a car, I've got animals. I'm not free. I'm not telling you, be homeless, but think about it logically. What do they have to lose? They have nothing to lose. They have everything to gain. April Lane says, it does sound slightly deranged, like waiting for the deadbeat dad to come take you to the ballpark. Right. Right. It's insanity on all sorts of levels. It really is. But I look at the homeless person and I say, man, when that person leaves here, they're leaving with everything that they came here with, which is nothing. Think about some of your friends that have died or are sick or about to die. What are they worried about? Are they worried about their soul being saved? Are they worried? What's the? Well, I got to worry about my house. I'm going to give it to my kids, and this, that, and that, this. Oh, the insurance policy, and this, that. They're not concerned. Samuel says Mark 10:17-24 is where you can find that story about the rich man you're talking about. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm versed in the Bible. I was an altar boy, but I'm like Kelly Bundy. For every new fact I get, I lose a fact. So, it's so funny. Gosh, it's just, there's only so much you can cram into the human brain, at least my brain. But, I look at those homeless people and I say, you know what? They can leave here without the pressure of anything. I've gone to people who have been super rich, and you would go and look at them in the casket at a funeral. Have you ever seen a person in a funeral, and they're in the casket, God forbid, and and they have that look like they're in pain? Have you ever seen that, where they're just like, it's like they're still fighting in the afterworld? And whenever I see that sort of expression on their face, I'm like, Jesus, what could this person have done in their lifetime to where they're still... And I know what I'm thinking is probably correct, and this is why. My mom's second sister, my mom has 8 sisters. There's 8 girls in my mom's family. 4 boys, 8 girls were born. Live birth. There was more than that, but live births, well, not live births, but that lived. My mom's the oldest of the 8. Or my mom's the oldest of the 12, but out of the girls, my mom's the oldest, right? Her second sister, my aunt's sister, loved her to death. Man, she was so fun. She was like the jokester sister, aunt. And loved her to death. That was my mom's first playmate before all the other siblings started coming. And when she passed, I kid you guys not, when you saw her at the viewing, they did such a good, well, of course, the makeup and stuff, the more, give them their credit. But my aunt's sister was a natural beauty, believe it or not. Okay? I know what everybody says about their family, but my aunt's sister was a natural beauty. Okay? Well, my mom's a natural beauty too. Red bones. You know how that is. Whatever. But I remember doing the viewing and I first saw her. It looked like she was asleep. I kid you not. I've seen that a couple of times in funerals that I've gone to, but it's very rare, right? Because, the makeup job might be botched or, whatever. Are they too much embalming? You guys know the difference when you see, like, where it's like, yeah, that's that person, but I kid you guys not. If I could have taken a picture and be respectful about it, and I don't like to do that, because like I said, my cousins, that's their mother. I just hope that they took a picture of her. I kid you guys not. This woman looked like she was asleep in that casket. She looked as beautiful as she always did. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, it made you really think, like, is she dead? Is this woman dead or is she sleeping? That's how free she was to me. Because she seemed so peaceful, like she was sleeping. And she was very into the church and stuff, whatever. I'm not saying that's going to get you into heaven, but I have no doubt that my aunt will be in heaven because she looks so peaceful. Not saying she's a perfect woman. Like I said, I don't know the track record or whatever, but when I see a person in death look like that, you can't tell me nothing at that point. So anyway, the alarm has been set, and I hear you guys. Oh, Donovan, it's your delivery. It's your delivery. I can't speak to you guys nicely and calmly anymore. That doesn't work. I have to speak in an alarming way to get your attention. It's just like if there was a fire or you're about to get hit by a car. Do you want somebody to be like, hey, hi, how are you? There's a car coming. You might get hit. No, there's a fire. I warned this 2 years ago. And I hate being right, but I'm right again. We got to wake up, you guys. But tomorrow, please join me, you guys. Please join me. We will be interviewing Chicago Red. Flip Chicago Red. Tomorrow, Miss Jackson will be on the show. It's going to be interesting to see what is going on in Chicago, because what's happening in Chicago, it's happening in Los Angeles, it's happening in Houston, it's happening in Dallas, it's happening in Florida, it's happening in Atlanta, and it's happening in New York, and it's happening all over the nation. We got to stick together, and we got to continue to mind our own business. Yeah, April, have you heard about the bigots Telegram chat? Yeah, it's... What's the surprise? See, that's my thing. Nothing that white supremacists do surprises me. A deadbeat dad will be on the show. Nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing surprises me. So, but tomorrow, 11 a.m., I am definitely going to be there. She requested that I be interviewed with her. She said she wants me to be there. So I will be there, and I hope you guys will also be there as well. Again, if you are one of those government employees or a city employee that lost your job because of the illegal migrants, that the city had to cut your job out to balance the budget, hey, I'm with you. I'm with you. But this is why you have to take care of your home first before you worry about anybody outside of the home, right? I've never seen a mother feed somebody else's children before she feeds her own children. I've never seen that. It might happen. I don't know. I've just never seen it. So anyway, you guys have a good night. Thank you guys for still being my friends, regardless of, my stance and, what I say and what I do. Those of you guys that know me, you know who I am. You know who I am as a person. My politics should not bother you. Because it's kind of funny, real quick. It's kind of funny because we have friends that are Republicans and nobody gives them shit about being Trump supporters. But you be a black person that supports Trump or doesn't have a problem with Trump, man, you get disinvited from the barbecue. You can't come to the reunion. They boot you out of the damn black churches. It is what it is. But isn't that kind of strange? They're accepting of the Asians and the Hispanics who could be Republicans, but when you're a black person and you are no longer a Democrat, they come for your head. It's amazing. But I'm gonna go get Benny. I need to go lay down, but I'm gonna go walk him real quick, and then I'll lay down, and then I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow. You guys have a great day. Thank you guys for supporting me. Keep up the good work for you guys that are waking up. Let's educate each other and have these conversations. And that was the problem with our parents' generation. The conversation stopped. The revolution stopped. They got their Cadillacs. They got their hoes. They got their pimp clothes. They got the government job. They were able to take a shit next to a white man in a public bathroom. The revolution stopped. And that was their biggest mistake. Let's not make the same mistake. The revolution goes on. Let's have these conversations. They're difficult conversations, but let's have them. Let's have them. And I also want to say this. We got a few more minutes. I want to say this. We are finding out there are a lot of illegal people in this country that have jobs that they shouldn't have. And we're talking about lucrative jobs. How many of you guys heard about that superintendent up in Iowa? $300,000. The woman that hired him, even though it was a board, she was the chairman of the board. I don't think she was on the board at the time of his hire or when he's going through the process. But the point is, she was running for senator. She said she said some stupid term about supporting this guy until all the facts came out, right? Then all the facts came out. This guy was a criminal. He had anyway, however you guys want to look at it. She was running for senator. She dropped out of the senator race. This is what I'm talking about with the Democrats. Isn't that suspicious? They don't want to tell you the truth. They put up these DEI type hiring people that have questionable backgrounds. They don't do their due diligence. Then they have egg on their face. Then it ruins their careers. Now they're not even talking about the dude. Before it was like support doctor or whatever. We don't even know if he's a real doctor. But my point is, this man had a $300,000 job. How? That could have been a job an American could have had. You guys also heard about the guy in Atlanta that was the BART system transportation director. He was an illegal alien. He resigned his job and fled to Canada. Got the hell up out of here. So my point is this. Here in California, the illegals are afraid or whatever they're doing. A lot of them are self-deporting, getting the hell up out of here until a Democrat gets back in office. But there are a lot of jobs out there. And I'm going to tell it to you single moms again. If you have, all right, Brother Samuel, if you have a teenager at home, go get those jobs. We're going into the holiday season now. Post office is hiring. The post office is hiring. They need people to help move those packages and whatever and deliver and do all that other great stuff. Black people, this is what we're talking about the illegal immigration. It affects us more so than any other group because we're at the bottom. Those opportunities are few and far between. This is why illegal immigration is a threat to black people. I want to say the holidays are coming up. My organization here that I'm a part of, Officers Association, what we are doing is we are going to go out, because we have a lot of homeless vets out there. We are going to go out and we are going to volunteer our time and raise money for the homeless vets in our area. And what the goal is to raise as much money as we can so that we can buy these vets gym memberships so that they can shower and clean themselves up, because every person deserves the dignity of being clean. You can't make these people come indoors if they don't want to. But A nice hot shower would be nice. So we're going to be giving gym memberships, food cards, and anything that we can do is they can survive and do what they need to do. There's no excuse that it's a national disgrace that we have veterans that are homeless on the streets, and we're giving them lip service. We're giving them lip service. I live in a big veteran region. We are the 7th largest veteran area in the United States, and I see veterans out there homeless. We're going to be giving them vouchers to go to hotels and sleep, because it's going to get cold out here in the wintertime. I live in the desert, Inland Empire. It gets cold out here because we are close to the mountains. So we are going to be raising as much money as we can and donating our time. And so I'm going to really ask you guys, if you have time to volunteer at some place and get some kind of compensation in regards to your organization to go toward homeless vets, that would be a great thing. Everybody talks all this, we support the military, whatever, but what about the ones that did serve and they're no longer in the military? We've got from now until January to raise as much money as we can. And are we just going to do it? Maybe, this won't be just a little part thing. My goal, what I want to do, is I want to be able to raise at least $7,000 so that I can contribute that. It's not much, but that's my goal. If everybody in our organization could raise at least $5,000, it's going to make a difference in our community for these veterans. Buy them sleeping bags, whatever they're going to need, because we're getting tired of the lip service. We're getting tired of it. To give them the mental health training, get these guys, some of them that aren't even registered for the VA. Cold and flu, get those flu shots going if that's what you're into. When are we, as the bosses, government of the people, by the people, going to take back control? That's what I'm talking about. So hopefully, we can get that going. And if you guys can volunteer, and it doesn't have to be for a veterans organization, just for a worthwhile organization. Single mom, you don't have to be a veteran that needs help. We have a lot of mothers and families out here. The churches don't give a damn. The black churches don't give a damn. They give lip service. Oh, the benevolent fund is empty, Miss Claudia. Oh, the building fund, we need money for the building fund because we're building this thing for the church. But she's about to get evicted. Is it her fault? Possibly. But the point of the matter is, new rules have come into play. It's just not enough to be a citizen of a country. You got to participate in the success of that country. It's just not enough to be a Christian, according to Jesus. You got to live and walk it. That's my understanding. Just calling yourself a Christian is just not enough. When a person should look at you, they should know you're a Christian. They should know, without even having to talk to you. They should know you're a Christian. At least that's how I feel about it. Anyway, again, don't forget to join us tomorrow. Very, very important interview. Turn Chicago red. Miss Jackson will come out and give us an update on what is going on. See you guys tomorrow. You guys be safe, be blessed, and I will go lay down after I walk this dog. He's a great ball chaser. He loves chasing that ball. So anyway, you guys be safe out there. Go Cowboys.